Hi, my name is Selena, and this is our first presentation for MBAI5500 for AI Security, Privacy, and Trust. So in 2024 and 2025, as an avid user of Instagram and other social medias run by Meta, the rollout of Meta AI began and it raised a few questions and concerns. Personally, I only knew this immediately because I was bombarded with messages from my older family members with warnings about AI taking over the world and spying on us, which made me dive a little deeper into what Meta was actually releasing. I looked at Meta's official news releases from September 27, 2023, where they announced the introduction of new AI experiences across our family of apps and devices, as well as a news release from April 18, 2024, which was titled Meet Your New Assistant, Meta AI, built with Llama 3. So, a little background. Meta was releasing and integrating Meta AI into their various platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, and etc. And users were very concerned about what this meant for their social media lives. In 2024, Meta had apparently updated their privacy policy to state that it will be using the years and years of public information provided by their users to train its generative AI models. This includes their posts, photos, captions on Instagram and Facebook. The issue here is that there was no consent or intention to acquire any consent involved, and Meta's legal argument was legitimate interest, where the goal of building AI was valid enough that they didn't need to ask for permission if they provided a way for users to object. So this update came from their news release on June 10, 2024, building AI technology for users in a transparent and responsible way, where they stated, to do this, which was train AI using relevant data, we want to train our large language models that power AI features using the content that people have chosen to share publicly on Meta's products and services. So from a user's perspective, at the time when I heard about all of this happening, I was very panicked and worried and concerned about the state of the world that we were entering. I felt very uncomfortable with that fact that everything I've ever posted on Facebook and Instagram would be used by this AI to train, learn, and build from. I knew it also meant that my information will forever live on inside of this AI. I was also concerned about where the information was actually coming from. If they were looking at my public posts and photos, what would actually be stopping them from looking at my private conversations, posts, and other things that were supposedly hidden? So I was also worried about the risks that come with a large company using endless data streams for their business uses. What if I didn't opt out on time or properly? And what actually stops them from not using some of my data? They also mentioned that they wouldn't use information from minors, but what about the information from when I was a minor, but now that I'm not, will my information be used regardless? So I was also worried about the assertions that could be made about where I live, places I frequent, and much more, which they could determine if they studied patterns in my location data or patterns in posts and whatever else. At that time, it felt like there was very little information about the AI to learn about in general. Most of us regular people didn't really know what an AI was built of, or like who ran it, who monitors it, and especially who benefits from it. In comparison to other AIs, Meta AI felt very scary. It was a very ambiguous term. We didn't really know what we could use it for, and we didn't know what other people were using it for. So if we compared it to like ChatGPT at the time, we knew ChatGPT, we all had access to it to generate funny photos or do a deeper Google search. And like other AIs where it's used to check our grammar or erase our pimples in photos or generate a script. But like what was Meta AI and what are we actually using it for? So at the time, Meta had made it clear that users would have to opt out of this update. To be completely honest, I didn't actually end up opting out because the process was too complicated and it was way more complicated than I actually needed it to be. So apparently to opt out of this AI, you had to go into the privacy center, find a link, and then fill out a form explaining why you didn't want your data to be used. So this process was unnecessarily lengthy and complicated for the only reason being that Meta didn't want you to opt out. So that whole situation was a little insane. The hidden update and the difficulty in opting out of the situation made Meta difficult to trust moving forward. If they had made their update an opt-in option, it could have improved the general user's opinion on the whole thing. Something like, we want to use your photos to build our AI. Do you agree? Or something like this would have built a connection and a foundation of trust with their users instead of a hidden notification in their updates that they had to look for. They also could have been more transparent about what was happening to the information that was fed to their AI. They could have provided warnings like, once you opt in to allow our AI to train using your data, it cannot be removed. Users' sentiment towards issues could be a lot more optimistic if everything was explained and they were actually given the freedom of choice. They could have doubly improved the situation as well if they had just made their opt-out option be an actual simple button that says no, instead of having users dig through multiple pages and links and complete a form to opt out. Overall, Meta presented a threat to our privacy with their very ambiguous release of Meta AI and the start of mass data collection. To this day, I have no idea what the point of Meta AI is on Instagram or Facebook, nor do I know anyone that actually makes use of it. If Meta and other companies were to prioritize building trust and transparency with their users, the adoption of AI and other updates in technology could be better received and integrated without large amounts of backlash or concerns. Meta had the opportunity to improve social media use and connections with other people, but their approach to the situation, choosing to be secretive and ambiguous with their language, complex processes, and vague wording, puts the whole situation in doubt and completely dissolves any type of trust their users may have had with the platform in general.